All right. We just want the period and the amplitude of these two problems. So just to remind myself unless I get carried away. To write those out. Now, the period, looks like we got 0, 0. And this could be a sine function here, and the period would end right there. So the period looks like it equals pi. And the amplitude, looks like we go 2 and negative 2. The amplitude would be 2. All right. Now, I really want to find the middle of this. And it looks like at 2 would be the midline. Y equals 2 is the midline of this, which will help me with the amplitude. The amplitude would be, here's 2. This looks like 2.5. So the amplitude looks like a half, or 0.5. The period, now this looks kind of like a cosine function. If I go here to here, I'm going from 0 to 2. Period is just plain old 2. All right, let's see what kind of challenges 7 has for us here. Remember, the cosine, or the amplitude goes in front of the cosine or the sine. Where are we going? 0 to 8. So we are here at 4 in the middle. 4 above, 4 below. We're going to go 4 there. Looks like it could be a cosine that's flipped. So I'm going to go negative 4. And the midline usually is at 0. Looks like we just raised it 4 units. Looks like we got a period of 2 pi, so let's put a plus 4 there and be done with it. How we just raised it 4 units, the period wasn't changed, and it was cosine of x, so the period shouldn't have changed. All right, number 8. All right, let's see if they can trick us here. Now, it appears to me, well, first of all, that the amplitude is 2. Now, the period is 2 pi over b. And the period here, from here to here, looks like pi. Or you can go from here to here. That's harder to see, but that would be pi units also. So, if I multiply both sides by b, I get 2 pi equals pi b, and I divide by pi because I'm wanting to know what b is, so I can put it in that blank right there. So I'm dividing both sides by pi, and I'm getting b equals 2. All right. Now, the next thing is the phase shift. There is a phase shift here. It looks as if, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. This looks like pi over 2. It appears to me that I could shift this left 2 units, or I could shift it right 2 units. But each unit, 2 units is pi over 2. So phase shift, if you recall, is negative c over b. And I don't think it matters if we make it plus or if it make it minus, because 2 units left will get us in the right place. We'll move that tip there. 2 units left will move that point there, and either way you get the same graph. So we're in business there. So negative c over b is equal to pi over 2, and b is 2. So negative c over 2 equals pi over 2. All right. So if I multiply both sides by 2, I got negative c equals pi. So c would be negative pi. And remember, we said it didn't matter. If you put a negative pi there, that's fine. And put a plus there, or if you put a minus. Either way, it's going to get that thing in the right place. All right. Now it's time to do the fun stuff of the graphing. Okay. We're going to do 2 full periods on these. The amplitude, I'll just write A, is absolute value of -2. So A is, the amplitude is 2. I shouldn't have written A. Amplitude is 2. The period is 2 pi over 1/2. The coefficient there is 1/2. That's going to give you 4 pi. If I multiply by 2 and 2, that's going to give me 4 pi for my period. Phase shift. There is nothing adding or subtracting inside the parentheses after signs, so there's no phase shift. There is, however, a vertical shift of 1. Okay, so we got this, and we got this, and we got that negative also. So I'm going to flip the sign function like so. And we're supposed to do 2 periods, so let me just draw that again. All right, so I flip it. Remember, flip it and sketch it and label it. And then we're going to move it up a unit. All right, so right here, period is 4 pi. Right here is 2 pi. Half of 2 pi is 1 pi. Halfway here is 3 pi. This 2 more pi is 6 pi. This is 8 pi. And let's put our 5 pi here and our 7 pi here. Okay, and now I'm going to finish this problem in red. Okay, remember this is 2. And this is 2. So here's 1, here's -1, here's +1. And I'm going to raise it 1 more because, okay, so I'm going to move this up 1 unit, so I'm going to be here. I'll move this point up a unit and be here. I'll move this point up 1 unit and be here. This one will be up here. This one goes up a unit here. Down here we go up to here. We go up to here. This point goes up to here. And this point goes up to here. So I'm going to draw that. And my final answer is this one in red. Okay. And maybe I can just kind of extend it to there. Red is the final answer here. That's after we moved it up a unit. Now, second one. Y equals 3 cosine pi x plus pi over 2. All right, amplitude equals 3. The period, I went cursive there on you for some reason. The period is 2 pi over the coefficient of x is pi. The period is 2. The phase shift. We do have a phase shift here, and that is negative pi over 2, negative c over b over pi. Negative pi over 2 over pi. The phase shift would be, if I multiply this by 1 over pi, and multiply this by 1 over pi, I see the pi's cancel out. The phase shift is negative 1/2. Negative 1/2. This is just 1 on the bottom. And there's no k out here, so there's no vertical shift in this problem. All right, so let's look at what this gives us. So we will flip it, but we don't flip it because that's positive. Let's sketch it. Let's draw the cosine. Okay. And I think I need to include another period here because we said 2 periods. But I'm really want to be careful. This is where the first period ends at 2. This is 1. This is 0.5. This is 0.75. So we're kind of going by quarters here. Oh, no. This is 1.5. Okay. Slow down. Got it. 1.5. This is 2.5, 3, 3.5, and 4. All right. Did that. Let's label this at 3. And label this one here at negative 3. And then we got to shift this thing half a unit. Every point I'm shifting half a unit. See, because the phase shift, but I'm shifting it to the left. So this is negative 0.5. So I'll take this point here, move it over to here. I'll take this point here and move it to the origin. I will take this point here and move it to here. I will take this point here, move it to here. My graph's going to be in red again. I'll take this point, move it here. This point goes here. This point goes here. This point goes here. And this point goes here. Let's see if I got that straight here. So we go down, connect those red dots here. Okay, groovy. All right, so that one is graphed, and it is the red again. When I've had to shift it, I'm shifting to the red graph. All right, y equals 3 tangent of x over 2. All right, this time I am going to, let's see, look at a value, which is not the amplitude, but it's that point of inflection of 3. I'm going to go the period. Now the period for tangent is pi. And I'm going to pi divided by 1/2. Double that here so that we do 2 pi. The period is 2 pi, and there's nothing else to this. So I'm going to draw a tangent function, which means I've got to put in an asymptote here and an asymptote here. The period is 2 pi. Half of that period is on this side and half is on this side. So I'm going to make this mark pi, and this mark right here is negative pi. That's a pi symbol there. Okay, and tangent starts low, goes through the origin, and ends high. There's the tangent function. So let's mark half of that is pi over 2. Half here is negative pi over 2. And where that hits is at period 3, not a period, and where this hits is negative 3. So there's the graph of y equals 3 times the tangent of x over 2. All All right, I think I'll save this last page for the last video.